Okay, this is the Ask Andy show, removing your delusions about global anything. I've been to 90 countries, and traveled nonstop for 16 plus years. I'm going to be in Ecuador soon. Tim K asked a question. What's the situation? Basically, he wants to know, what's the situation? What's the skinny on Thailand right now? He says that 50 countries issued travel advisories about Thailand. Okay, I know Jerome, I know Kai, I know a few people that are always stickmen. I know people that are in, let's see, I think Chuck Wow is in Thailand. Okay, so yesterday I emailed Jerome, which is level-headed. You gotta understand, there's people that are like fan club groupies of Thailand. Okay, these are the people that are meeting girls and they defend it at all costs. These are not really your best people to get advice. And you get on any forum for Thailand, oh, it's no problem, blah, 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 no problem, no problem, no problem, no problem. And, and you guys that are just planning a vacation really need to do it. Bottom line is when they're doing one of these, it's according to how much you travel. If you travel like 2 or 3 times a year to different exotic locations, and you see one of these travel advisors, then why would you go to Thailand right now? It's just not worth the time. If you want to go there right now, let me tell you what's happening. Okay, his name is Shinawatra. They had the president of Thailand. You got a king of Thailand, and then you got a president of Thailand. It's supposed to be elected, but somehow he was the guy that basically he's acting like they steals, I don't know, say $1 billion when he put up the airport. Guy brought him into Shinawatra, I can't say his name. He was in power for years, okay, and he was a really incredibly good business guy. He brought Thailand into very, very open, do business, be a big tourist place, but now his daughter's in power. Okay, so what happened, I think the other day, they somehow got his daughter kicked out of power. And, because what it is it's a family running a country. Okay, and this is incredibly common, guys. Families, for the most part, own countries. So you have, say, 6 families that own every country on the planet. And you see the George dynasty. This is why people don't like this, because anybody really understands history. If Jeb Bush becomes president, it's really too much. You don't want one family having that much control of a country. You really want somebody elected new. Okay. Well, most countries that are not United States, there's not even any choice. You're going to, by default, keep electing the same people because there's nobody you can vote to, and it's almost dangerous if you don't elect them. Well, Shinawatra, whatever his name, was in power. Then he got his daughter, I think, in power. And now they're really angry because it's very, very corrupt, and the red shirts and the blue shirts, I think is what they call it, have kicked him out of power. So it's very dangerous, these protests, because they're not clear. Okay, now the big problem comes, and the big problem comes here is because when tourists go there, somehow they think that they have a complete understanding. So your kid's gone over there, he's a backpacker, or some granola for lunch bunch group, go over to Thailand, or you got Thailand's a great big gay, 50% of the men and tourists are not going there for female sex, they're going there for gay sex. So you get some really deviant type characters, and then what they do is they get lost, they lose their plot, they get connected up with there, and they actually think they can get involved. If you actually start to be a protester, this becomes incredibly dangerous. And if you're just going to a tourist and you go to an island, yeah, that's a whole different thing. But if you're in Bangkok and you're sitting there wanting to get involved in the local politics of Thailand, the rule of thumb on all things is never talk about religion, never talk about governments. That's the classic rule of travel. Never get involved in governments or religions inside a country. You just don't want to do it. But I wrote Jerome, and Jerome replied, and I'm going to read you what he said. He said basically everything that how would you say it? Jeroen is a Netherlands man. Holland, you know, for you guys that don't get it, it's really the Netherlands. He's lived in Thailand. He's married to a Thai woman. He's my travel agent. And I don't buy all my tickets online, as you guys all dream is the best way to buy it. The actual cheapest tickets I ever get is when Jeroen directs me. I trust him. I know him, and I've got some interviews with him on YouTube here. If you search for, I don't know, Thai travel agent and inside my channel. Okay, so Jeroen's been there. He's an insider. Only talk to people that have been inside the country for like 7 years. I mean, anybody less than that, and you'll find that everybody's an expert and they've only been there 1 month. I've been to Thailand at least 20 or 30 times, and I probably spent at least 2 years of my life there. I don't go there much anymore just because it's the expats, really. They're kind of creepy. Okay. Okay. The Thai, I mean, this is one of the cheapest, best places to live with a bunch of beaches. I mean, it's a wonderful place to live, but the other foreigners sometimes are out to lunch. Okay. Now my comment on the situation. The Thai history has proven that situations can change and escalate into an extreme violence in a matter of minutes. Matter of minutes. This is Jeroen talking. The political situation is indeed dire at this moment. Together with the, and then in brackets it says, together with the aging monarch. The king is like so old, and he can't really get involved. He can stop all this stuff in a second because they just love him like a god. They are indeed well-grounded possibilities for a situation that could finally escalate into a civil war. So he's saying right now it could escalate into a civil war. At this moment, visiting Thailand is fine, but things can change fast, and that's why you have to have all these travel warnings. Visit Thailand, but do follow some news and be aware of what's going on. The way I follow the news is I have Google Alerts, and I subscribe to the Thai Visa website. It's like a forum. Not very good about getting visas anymore, but it's a forum. So they send me an email every day telling me what the situation in Thailand is. And I get Google Alerts. So search for Google Alerts, and then you put in there Thailand, and then every day you'd get an email telling you about Thailand, and you can read the little list of new articles about Thailand and keep, it's a push email. It's going to push you to keep involved so you know what's going on. And I do this all the time. Okay. Do not visit, now he's going to say this, do not visit demonstration sites, or even worse, demonstrate yourself in solidarity with whatever side, which is a grave mistake, and have a simple plan in mind how to leave the country if the need should arise. Okay, a simple plan. I mean, say you're in Go PP and you want to leave, you get on the train or bus, and boom, you're in Malaysia the next day. Boom, you're in Cambodia the next day. In Bangkok, you can be in Cambodia the next day. Literally. I mean, it's just 5 hours, 8 hours away, and you're in Cambodia. Okay, in the north, it's a little more difficult on Myanmar or Burma, but you got to have your exit plan. And the people in the 5-star hotels always think that they're protected, but they are the target. Okay, everybody goes for the money. So if you're staying in a 5-star hotel and think that you're safe, you're the least safe. In Sukhumvit, there's this mentality, it's a groupthink mentality that everybody that's living in this area is protected, like somehow the Thai people are going to protect you. It's just not true. Okay. Another interesting point is on the Thai visa situation. This is May 2014. This is time-sensitive stuff, guys. May 2014. I'm giving you inside skinny on Thailand. Another interesting point is on the Thai visa situation. Border runs are with effect of May 10. Oh boy, just recently. Restricted to one time only. So you can go to the border, come back in, I think you get 15 days. And from 12th of August, visa renewals by air for back visitors is banned as well. Ooh. This is really serious stuff. August, visas renewal by air for back-to-back visas in areas. I'm not sure if they mean. I mean, you could go outside of Thailand, go to Philippines, apply at the Thai embassy, get 2 months visa, then come back. The message from the Thai immigration is clear. Please visit Thailand, but short. Spend your money and be gone, and leave Thailand to the Thais. See, this is why the other guy, the president for years, was basically opened it up to the world, and he made it very international, global. And Thai culture is radically different than, they call us Falang, and when they call us Falang, it means like foreigner in Thai. They really don't look at us as equal citizens. I mean, I had a Thai girlfriend that owns a pharmacy in Koh Chang, one of the islands, the big island, Koh Chang, close to Cambodia. And I met her when she was just working in a hospital. Then she went and got her master's degree. Now she owns her pharmacy. She's not a prostitute, never was, basically. But I am so discriminated against by her friends and family and everybody that it really is almost an impossibility to be more than just friends. Because inside the country, who wants to see your wife or somebody being called names 24 hours a day? I mean, they're really racist. Okay, and there's a whole separate world you don't know. The name of Bangkok is not Bangkok. It's like Kung Tat, which means, I don't know, but the actual name of Thailand Bangkok is not Bangkok. And once you finally realize something, like, it's a whole nother world. But you think it's all westernized because you got the Bangkok Post or whatever in this English paper. But we're just a category there. We're not really part of the Thai culture. And it's really dates for years and years and thousands of years about the barbarians. The barbarians are people that come that have no respect for the culture. And if you look at my girlfriend, when she's sitting there talking to some of these expats, you can just see in her eyes, she goes like, "You have no respect for my culture." I mean, you can just see it in her face that she knows that there's no respect. That's a barbarian. They don't even care the least bit about the local Thai culture. But you know, what happened was, during the big one is, during the Vietnam War, Pattaya was a safe place to bring, your GIs, and it lasted for, 8, 10 years, whatever, and 12 years, I don't know, a long time, say about a decade. And this became the boom sex tourism capital of the world. Pattaya is one of the sex tourism capitals of the planet, along with Angeles City in things. So you got 2 sex tourism capitals, basically founded by the American GI. Okay, not founded, but they were the market, and the Philippine girls and the Thai girls decided to sell their wares because they can make in one day, in one time in bed, in 2 hours, 1 hour, half hour, they can make enough money to earn the same amount of wages that they would earn in a week of working. It's not I mean, if you offered an American girl, say you earn $200 a day, $1,000 a week, and you offered her, a girl in America $1,000, you'd find out that a lot of them, if they knew they could do it in incognito, they would do it for a second, because $1,000, that's the comparable thing that these Thai girls get for sleeping. That's the same in knowledge as money. I mean, they get 1 week of American wages to sleep with you. So that's where it developed. But Pattaya, and now of course you can see that this is a huge amount of money coming in. A military base is a huge amount of money, and a military. Pattaya and Angeles City are both. I mean, I think the Philippines are reneged. They threw us out of there. Now they're going to bring us back. Okay, it's selling your soul to the devil. But at the end of the day, it's not quite as bad as it sounds. Americans don't really understand this whole. Women in America seem like more like prostitutes than the girls in the Philippines, because they're always wanting, they want a guaranteed situation. And he was sitting there going, hey, that's like a prostitute. You know, because prostitutes always ask you questions. But, okay, this is long and long and long. I don't go to Thailand much anymore just because I realize there's some really creepy stuff going on the internet. These guys have fantasies that are just creepy. And when I finally get to know some of the expats there, I go, ooh, they're creepy. Because at the end of the day, there's a combination of friendships with the Thais, which is real tough because their English is horrible. My Thai is not possible. It's a really difficult language to learn. So you almost only have friends of the expats. And the expats are sort of creepy. So, go figure. But this is the skinny on Thai. Thank you, Jerome.